Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Carrie Roper. You're watching 7 minutes of nonstop news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal for Thursday, January 28th. Let's get to our top story, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Clark County School District students and parents protested today against the district's decision to cancel the fall sports season. Our reporter James Schaefer was at the CCSD building where the protest was located.
A gathering of concerned parents of student athletes in the Clark County School District are protesting out here today the district's decision to cancel winter and fall sports. School district police vehicles were parked at one of the entrances of the school district building on Sahara. We spoke with one father of a Coronado school athlete about his concerns about his son.
Yeah, we're willing to take the risk. We're willing to sign off on liabilities, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. These kids are not being affected in a manner that is fatality related, and the mental health and all the things, I mean, we can see how it's starting to take its toll. Throw these kids a lifeline. Let them play in their activities.
The decision to cancel was made last Friday on January 25th by the CCSD athletics director. Parents still have the spring sports season, which starts later this year.
And Clark County School District Superintendent Jesus Jara provided an update today on the district's plan to return preschool through third grade students to classrooms on March 1st for some in-person instruction. Renee Summerhour has the latest on those answers. Renee?
Carrie, parents will have the option of sending students in those grade levels back to school buildings under a hybrid model. But many are still concerned about vaccination distribution and if all of the teachers, nurses, food, and other support staff will have both doses received on time. Here's what Dr. Jara had to say.
I think, Kristen, one of the things that, as I said, the MOA doesn't take into account or doesn't say that you need to be, have the vaccine. I think the safety protocols that we've put in place protects the employees and protects the students.
They also discussed mental health concerns, hybrid structure, and play or recess protocols. For more on that, log on to lvrj.com. Carrie?
Nevada remains at the bottom of national lists when it comes to COVID-19 vaccine allocations and distribution. Federal officials are saying that the state is simply not ordering its entire allotted capacity. The Review-Journal's health reporter Mary Hines explains.
According to CDC data, Nevada is second to last in terms of amount of vaccine per capita that it is receiving from the federal government. State officials said that they are very encouraged that the Biden administration has vowed to give the states additional vaccine. And they said that within the federal government's ordering system for vaccine, they can see that Nevada is already set up to get additional vaccine, but they did not specify how much more vaccine.
In more news, a Las Vegas police officer has been arrested on suspicion of DUI. Clark County Detention Center records show that 25-year-old Gary Spitzmesser was booked at the jail early yesterday. He's accused of driving under the influence of alcohol or a controlled substance. Spitzmesser has been with Metro since 2017. And now let's check on our weather forecast. We have one more night of rain to look forward to before we start to see some clearer weather. Today was a cool 57 degrees, and we can expect a low of around 44 degrees with some rain on and off throughout the night, which will also carry over slightly into the morning. Friday, we'll see highs in the low 50s and lows in the mid 30s. We can expect to finally see some sun on Saturday, though don't expect temperatures to get much higher than the mid 50s until early next week.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. Hi there, I'm Cassie Soto, here with news that the Golden Knights game scheduled for Thursday night versus the St. Louis Blues has officially been postponed after a player and another member of the Golden Knights coaching staff entered the league's COVID-19 protocols. Here's Golden Knights reporter Ben Goetz with more.
Now, the player that was put on the NHL's COVID-19 absence list was defenseman Alex Pietrangelo. That doesn't necessarily mean that Pietrangelo tested positive. A player could be placed on that list for a number of things, including a positive test. It could also be an unconfirmed positive test. It could be being deemed a high-risk close contact in contact tracing. It could even be a travel quarantine. So we're still waiting for a lot to be determined now. Now, the league is going to look at the Golden Knights schedule and basically decide in the next 24 to 48 hours what it's going to do, especially near term with the schedule.
Now it's time for your sports betting update. Nevada sportsbooks took $4.3 billion in bets in 2020 and won $262.8 million, according to figures released by the state's Gaming Control Board. The sports betting handle, or amount wagered, was down $1 billion from 2019, mostly because of the pandemic and the cancellation of March Madness. However, football betting was pandemic-proof as the state's books set all-time records for football handle at $1.9 billion and football win at $127.7 million.
In your health news, earlier today, Dr. Fermin Leguen was appointed as the permanent chief health officer at the Southern Nevada Health District after serving as the acting chief for the last year. In a statement from the Board of Health, it said that Leguen was selected in part because of his leadership during the ongoing pandemic. In your entertainment news, local entertainment professionals are eager to help the COVID vaccine effort. John Katslamidas tells us how.
Sidelined entertainment professionals in Las Vegas are convinced that they can help with a statewide COVID vaccination rollout. A lot of them work on wide-scale convention shows, trade shows, entertainment residencies all over town. Live events is what they do. In one instance, they ran 20,000 people from the MGM Grand Garden Arena and satellite venues through a ballroom in less than 2.5 hours. They say they can do this.
Now it's time for your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber. More and more people have been watching slot machine YouTube channels, and now one of the most popular influencers has put all of his favorite slot machines in one space at the plaza. Brian Christopher Slots at the Plaza is a partnership between Christopher and the casino, featuring 16 slot machines like Dollar Storm and Lightning Zap, that were all chosen based on iconic moments from his videos. The area is set to open this Friday, and fans got a sneak peek on Christopher's YouTube live stream. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a Las Vegas educator has been named as a finalist for National Teacher of the Year. Juliana Urtaby, a learning strategist at Booker Elementary School, is among 4 finalists for the 2021 award. She's also the first ever Latina educator named Nevada Teacher of the Year. This is the first time in 60 years a Nevada teacher is a finalist. That's all for today's 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Carrie Roper. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to watch and tell your friends 7 minutes of nonstop local news is fresh at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. weekdays at lvrj.com and the RJ mobile app. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Have a great night.
Review-Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.